I know Dan McGuire is at another meeting. He started at 9:30. Give him another couple minutes. He thought he'd finish that up by 10. I think we got a couple others we're waiting for. All right.
Well, no, that.
All right, I will call the Finance Committee meeting to order for October 30th. We have a whole bunch of bills that during the budget process were passed out of the House with money in them, so they came to the Finance Committee before we had completed the budget process. Many of them were included in the budget, so now the final action on those bills that we retain, if they've been included in the budget, is to call them inexpedient due to the fact they've already been dealt with in another way. Some of them were dealt with separately in other places, so that will be brought out as we go. There are still others that the committee may want to deal with in another fashion, but that should be the minority. So we'll open the review of these bills with the bills from Division 1, and I'll call on Representative Mooney to announce those decisions.
Cambrell.
Oh, where am I? Representative Cambrell, Division 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So you'll see we have 17 bills, but I don't want people to panic because we had robust debate during Division 1. A lot of these bills are going to be unanimous consent. And, you know, again, we hashed these out pretty well during Division 1. So with that, I would like to recognize Representative Carol McGuire to address House Bill 54.
Would allow alternate treatment centers to operate for profit. This passed the House overwhelmingly. There's minimal cost to it, and therefore I recommend ought to pass.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Representative Abel seconds the motion. Is there any further discussion? Clerk will call the roll on the motion of ought to pass on House Bill 54 FM.
He stands. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you. Representative McGuire. Dan.
Yes.
Representative Earth.
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean.
Yes.
Representative Cambrell.
Yes.
Representative Popovici Mueller.
Yes.
Representative Sweeney.
Yes.
Representative Berry.
Yes.
Representative Seaworth.
Yes.
Representative McGuire Carroll.
Yes.
Representative Nalvenko.
Yes.
Representative Farrington.
Yes.
Representative Wallner.
Yes.
Representative Leachman.
Yes.
Representative Murray.
Yes.
Representative Evil.
Yes.
Representative Turisky.
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips.
Yes.
Representative Stringham.
Yes.
Representative Priest.
Yes.
Representative Rung.
Yes.
Representative Munns.
Yes.
Representative Kelly.
Yes.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
It is 25-0.
Vote being 25-0, the ought to pass motion is adopted, and I'll look for the report.
Is there money?
Is there money in it?
No,
All
there's
right.
no appropriation.
All right, you can mark that for consent.
Excuse me.
Consent calendar. Very good. All right.
I'd like to recognize Representative Griffin for a motion on House Bill 97.
Thank you. I'd like to move ITL on House Bill 97 and speak to it.
You're recognized.
House Bill 97, making an appropriation of the Department of Environmental Services for wastewater and infrastructure projects. We're recommending ITL for this bill as it was replaced by Section 379 of House Bill 2, which appropriates $2,500,000 for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2026, and $2,500,000 for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2027. The current projection of state revenues prevented full funding of the bill, but the state's commitment and intention is being met by House Bill 2, if not the full funding.
Thank you. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Okay, second by Representative Sweeney. Is there any further discussion? Representative Run.
Yes, I'd like to speak against the ITL motion. I realize the revenue situation the state is in, but if we can't fund this at least a little bit more, it's just going to be a burden on local property taxpayers to pick up that percentage of the principal and interest for these bonded projects. We should have all received an email yesterday from Jason Randell, who's the Director of Operations in Plymouth. And I've also heard from the local director of the Merrimack Wastewater Treatment Plant about how the risk of cutting this funding so severely, because these projects, the voters have already put trust in the state that they could rely on this grant funding, as they have for many years, to help defray those bond expenses. So these projects have already they're in construction or they're completed. This money goes to defray the principal and interest now that are going to be burdened on property taxpayers. If the ITL motion is successfully defeated, I have an amendment to increase that from 2.5 million per year to 5 million per year. It's still just 1/3 of the typical appropriation the House and the Senate have approved over the years. But it is something, and it will make a difference on those local property taxpayers. The reason this type of grant is extremely important is that it will allow housing to be built in greater density. We all know that at least half of New Hampshire is serviced by septic systems, and new housing, which has been a priority of the House and the Senate and the governor, will have to we need to be able to put more housing on a building lot. And the only way to do that is through expanding our municipal wastewater infrastructure. So I please ask my colleagues to vote against the ITL so I can bring another motion forward to turn this from 2.5 million to 5 million. Thank you.
Further discussion? Seeing none. The motion before us is inexpedient to legislate. Clerk will call the roll on that motion.
Representative Dan McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Keith Earth,
Yeah. Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
Representative Griffin votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Cambrose,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Evil,
No.
Representative Terlisky,
No.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative Priest,
No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly,
No.
Chairman
it
Wyler.
looks like it
Chairman
is,
Wyler.
Representative Weiler.
Yes.
I think it's
14
13 to 11, 14 to 11.
11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 14 to 11.
Okay, 14 to 11. The bill will be reported as inexpedient to legislate. And I guess Representative Griffin will have the report.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to recognize,
Representative Rung, will there be a minority report?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'll get that to you right after the meeting.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on, Representative
thank you.
Cambrils.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to recognize Representative Sweeney for a motion on House Bill 111.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 111, I would move inexpedient to legislate on. The state budget brought significant reforms to the position of right-to-know ombudsman. Allowing House Bill 111 to move forward separately would create conflicting timelines and conflicting statutory language. Inexpedient to legislate ensures consistency with the enacted budget and avoids reopening settled policy.
Motion of ITL, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 111.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
Representative Griffin votes yes, Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Cambrils,
Yes.
Representative Papavici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes,
Representative Nelvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
excuse me,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Evil,
Yes.
Representative Terlisky,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Run,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
The vote is unanimous.
25 to 0.
25 to 0.
Okay, so.
You want to consent?
Yeah, because it's ITL, there's no money in. Next, Representative Cambrils.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next bill is House Bill 164, and there's an amendment that I would like to introduce to House Bill 164.
All right.
It should be in front.
Is
Everybody
it
should have a
before
copy.
us, or are they gonna pass it out? Is it 2979?
Should be in your packet.
Should be on the table, 2979. All right, you're recognized to describe that amendment.
Yes, it's Amendment 225-2979H. And basically what this does is it appropriates a sum of $150,000 for fiscal year ending June 30, 2027. It's hereby appropriated to the Secretary of State, Division of Archives and Records Management for the local government records manager position. So in order to do this record retaining, which is something that the Secretary of State very much wants, we have to have a manager for the position first. And that's what this amendment does. It creates the funding to hire that manager.
Okay. Representative Cambrils moves
Yeah, make a motion to OTP this amendment,
to adopt the amendment.
adopt the amendment.
And is there a second?
it. I'll second it.
Okay, that was Representative Abel. Okay. Is a show of hands sufficient, or does anybody request a roll call on adopting the amendment? All in favor, raise your hands. Hands down. Any opposed? Unanimously adopted. Okay, move on back to Representative Cambrils for a motion.
Okay, so I would like to make a motion on House Bill 164 as amended to be OTPA. And again, just to keep it simple, this is something that everybody agreed is very much needed, this records retention, and the Secretary of State made a very compelling argument to have this done. So I would ask that you would vote yes on the OTPA.
I'll second the amendment.
Okay, second, are you seconding the ought to pass as amended?
I'm sorry, yes.
That will be the motion. Okay, further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on the motion of ought to pass as amended, House Bill 164, Amendment 2979.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Papavici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry.
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire. Count.
Yes.
McGuire. Representative Nelvenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Evil,
Yes.
Representative Turliski,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Runs,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
It is 25-0 unanimous.
The vote being 25-0, the committee recommends ought to pass as amended on House Bill 164 with Amendment 2979. It will go on the regular calendar. Moving on, Representative Cambrils.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to recognize Representative Carol McGuire for a motion on House Bill 197.
I move in expedient to legislate on this repeat bill.
Is there a second? Second? Who seconded?
Second.
Representative Sweeney. Okay. Further discussion? Representative Munns.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to speak in opposition to the motion of ITL. I am proud to have signed on as a co-sponsor of this bill, and I will be voting against the motion of ITL. HB 197 is a small but significant step to restore the grand bargain between our state government and cities, towns, and school districts that benefited our state for the better part of 50 years. It will provide immediate property tax relief during fiscal year 27 of at least $19 million to school districts and $9 million to cities and towns across our state. Tax relief that our constituents are all calling for. The New Hampshire legislature established the New Hampshire retirement system in 1967 to give our cities, towns, and school districts an efficient and cost-effective way to offer our public employees a safe and secure retirement plan. In exchange for those entities agreeing to join the system, we, the state, agreed to contribute 40% of the total required employee contribution to the plan. The legislature honored that grand bargain until 2011, when the legislature eliminated the state subsidy of employer Group 1 and Group 2 members. To this day, that action remains the single largest tax increase ever imposed by our state legislature on the residents of our cities, towns, and school districts. At the time, it was argued that this drastic step was necessary because of the Great Recession that accompanied the financial collapse of 2008. However, as the economy rebounded and our state's fortunes improved, repeated attempts to restore all or a part of the state's contribution to the retirement system were rejected. Until, that is, 2024, when an identical bill to this, HB 1279, passed the House in bipartisan fashion, 194 in favor to 178 opposed. Unfortunately, our friends in the other body were unwilling to join us. As it was originally filed, HB 197 provided that the state would pay for 7.5% of the contributions to the state retirement system for Group 1 and Group 2 members starting July 1st, 2025. Since that deadline has now passed, if you will join me in voting no on this ITL motion, I have an amendment prepared that I will submit that changes that beginning date to July 1st of 2026. That is the only substantive change to the bill we are voting on. HB 197 is entitled the Property Tax Relief Act of 2025 because it will provide real property tax relief to every city and town and school district in New Hampshire. Please join me in voting no on the motion of ITL so that we may vote on an amended version of this bill that will deliver real and meaningful property tax relief to our constituents. Thank you.
I will correct your statement. It was not the largest property tax increase because it was paid for by the members of the retirement system. Each of them had to increase their stipend to make up for the fact that the state was no longer contributing. So it came out pretty much neutral as far as property taxes were concerned. I wish people would stop saying that thing. And when we did pass $100 million in reduction in property taxes, the next year, nobody noticed any property tax reduction. That was when we took the money out of SWIFT. Thank you. All right, further discussion. Seeing none. Representative Run.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was wondering if somebody from the Legislative Office Building could comment on that, because I know in Merrimack, our taxes jumped that year because the employer, the town, and the school district picked up the balance of what used to be paid by the state. So I'm not sure that that's a true statement.
I was there. I put it in the bill. The teachers contributed went from 5% to 7%. The firemen went from 9 1/4, the police went from 9 1/4 to 11 1/4, 11 1/2, and the firemen went from 11, I think it was 11 1/2 to, or from 9 1/2 to 11 1/2. So that made up for the money. If your taxes went up, it wasn't due to the contributions to the system.
Mr. Chair,
Representative Carol McGuire.
it would be very difficult for anybody to disentangle the effect of that change on the receiving end, because at the same time as this was incorporated, the retirement system also incorporated new demographic data. Teachers were living longer, so they had to contribute more. The other retirees were also living longer. The retirement system also cut their expected rate of return to be more realistic. And those items swamped the difference in the state contributions. Yes, your property taxes jumped because of the retirement contribution, but it was not solely or even mostly due to this change. As Representative Weiler said, the employees are paying what the state used to pay. The employers are paying for decades of misinformation.
Representative Munns.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The one comment I would make is that in my statement, I mentioned that this was the largest tax increase ever imposed on the residents of our cities, towns, and school districts. And I would argue that since members in the retirement system are residents of our town, and since they were paying more, had to pay more as a result of the state not willing to pay employer contributions, that was a effective tax increase on them.
On them, but not all the residents. Thank you. Further discussion.
Follow up.
Representative Run.
So if the ITL is defeated and Representative Munns's amendment passes, would it lower property taxes for property owners in New Hampshire?
No, we've had it happen before, and it didn't. 7.5%, barely made a wrinkle. 100 million, barely made a wrinkle in everybody's taxes. And it was 2023, there was $100 million reduction in statewide education property taxes. Do you remember seeing a reduction in your 2023 taxes? I don't think any of us did.
Well, I do remember I was on the school board when that retirement and our budget went up because of the loss in state contribution to the retirement system. So maybe Merrimack was an outlier, but I think any property tax relief at this point is going to be something that Granite Staters need.
Well, most of that property tax increase is the schools, about 80%. And they've kept hiring people while their enrollment's going down. So you need some control at that board rather than asking for more and more. So further discussion. Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 197.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Cambrils,
Yes.
Representative Popovich Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalbanco,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Walner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Evil,
No.
Representative Taliski,
No.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative Priest,
No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly,
No.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
14-11.
Motion of inexpedient to legislate is adopted. Since it doesn't spend money, we can put it on the consent
Oh,
calendar.
no.
Split vote.
Representative,
Nope, it doesn't have it. It'll be on the regular calendar.
Representative Munns, what's the number of your amendment?
It is, 2976H.
Thank you.
And I will have a minority report submitted by the end of the meeting.
I just wanted to get your amendment into the calendar. So.
Okay, Munns is gonna do the minority. And you'll have that to me today. Thank you. Moving back to Representative Cambrils.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion on House Bill 215 to OTP as amended. I'd like to speak to it briefly. This is a very common sense bill. It was bipartisan. It was worked on very vigorously by both sides of the aisle. And as I said, the result was we got a nice common sense bill here that's going to require future landfill permit applicants to submit a report that would list the potential harms and or the benefits of that landfill. So again, in Division 1, it was a 9-0 vote, and I would look for a second on the motion to OTPA.
Second.
Who made the second?
I'll second the motion.
All right.
We also do need to talk about the amendment.
Yes, well, the amendment was, which was Amendment 2970H. Have we adopted that yet? I thought we
No,
adopted. My apologies, I thought we had adopted the,
Introduce it.
yes,
as ought to adopt the amendment and we'll get a
Okay.
motion and a second.
my apologies, I thought we had adopted it before in Division 1.
Excuse
So,
me,
yes,
what was the number? of the
okay.
amendment?
So we're looking at Amendment
297.
2025-2970H.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
And I would make a motion to adopt the amendment to House Bill 215.
I'll second the amendment.
Thank you,
motion.
Seconded by Representative Abel. You may describe the amendment, please.
Could you do that for us, Representative Evil? I appreciate that.
Okay, I'd be happy to. So, HB 215 was included pretty much in its entirety in HB 2 in connection with the Solid Waste Site Evaluation Committee provision that was originally brought in by the governor, and then we amended it to include several other provisions, including the text of HB 215. As folks may recall, the landfill portion of HB 2 we were not able to reconcile with the Senate, and so the entire section was removed, including the language that is in 215. So we wisely retained HB 215, and so we're bringing it forward now. The amendment restricts somewhat the language in the original bill to new landfills. And it was adopted unanimously in our division and is recommended by the Environment and Ag Committee entirely. So I hope you'll join me in approving the amendment.
Further discussion? Any resistance to adopting the amendment by a hand show? Seeing none, all in favor of adopting the amendment, raise your hand. Hands down, anybody opposed? Unanimously adopted. Okay, we've adopted Amendment 2970 to House Bill 215. Clerk will call the roll on the motion of, now I'll ask Representative
Yes,
Campbell to
thank
make
you.
that motion.
My apologies. I would like to make the motion to OTPA House Bill 215. And
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Representative Campbell, seconded by Representative Abel ought to pass as amended House Bill 215, Amendment 2970. The clerk will call the roll on that motion.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
yes,
Representative Popovici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Tulowitzki,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler.
Yes,
It is 25-0.
it will be reported out that way on the regular calendar. Well, I think, is there money in this? Is there any money in this bill?
It appears to be policy.
All right. Just policy? Okay, let's put it on consent. Okay, Representative Campbell.
okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to recognize Representative Carol McGuire to make a motion on House Bill 216.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move in expedient to legislate, and I'd like to speak on it.
Is there a second on the motion of an expedient?
I'm
Second.
happy.
Representative Sweeney. Representative
Yes, thank
Carol
you.
McGuire is recognized to speak on House Bill 216.
This was my bill. I started it because in ED&A, we heard of one case of a person who was unable to retire on normal disability after being horrendously injured in state service, or town service, actually. And the retirement system has a limit of 1 year of time on workers' compensation eligibility, applying to your longevity in service. And you need 10 years in order to get normal disability. So we thought it seemed unfair. And so I put this in to eliminate that arbitrary limit, because nobody could remember or figure out where it came from or why it was there. When the bill came back, the retirement system had estimated, I think it was 27 million cost, because they assumed 10% of the retirees would be eligible for this additional year of service. The ED&A committee did not believe that was possible. I mean, a year off on workers' compensation is unusual. At least we thought so. And so we passed it on to finance, and we have it, now I got stuck with it again. And over the summer, I've investigated. Neither the retirement system, nor workers' compensation carriers, nor any of the unions has an idea of how many people would actually be affected by this. So it is, in effect, a blank check. We don't know what it would cost. And I cannot honestly recommend putting something through that is with a cost totally unknown, no matter how much I might feel that the individuals in question deserved it. So I'm moving an expedient to legislate.
Further discussion? Seeing none, clerk will call the roll on inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 216, motion by Carol McGuire, second by Representative Sweeney.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Cambrils,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes,
Representative Nelvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Evil,
Yes.
Representative Trubisky,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly.
Yes.
The vote is 25 to 0.
Weiler votes yes.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Representative Weiler.
Yes. Okay, the motion is inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 216, 25 to 0 consent calendar.
How could I forget the chair?
Representative Cambrils.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next bill we're going to take up is House Bill 219. I do have an amendment that I would like to introduce. It's Amendment 2025-2988H. And it's a very simple amendment. It just basically changes the date that this act will take effect, and that will be changing the date to July 1, 2027.
Okay. Representative Cambrils moves adoption of Amendment 2025-2988H. Is there a second?
Second.
Who was the second?
Sweeney.
Representative Sweeney. Further discussion on the amendment? Will you accept a hand show? No objection, all in favor, raise your hand. Hands down. Any opposed? Motion is unanimously adopted. Moving on to the next motion, Representative Cambrils.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would make a motion to OTPA House Bill 219. And I'll keep it simple. It's basically, this bill is something that we're doing to help the high cost of electricity in New Hampshire, to help our ratepayers. When this bill takes effect, it'll, in essence, return approximately $5.7 million a year from the RPS funds, the Renewable Portfolio Standard. And that amount of money, $5.7 million, will be returned to the ratepayers. And this is our way right now. You know, the energy costs are out of control in New Hampshire, and this is one thing we can do to help out the ratepayers.
Second.
Okay, motion by Representative Campbell, second by Representative Sweeney. Motion of ought to pass on House Bill 219 as amended by Amendment 2988. Clerk will call the roll on that motion. What's that?
Discussion.
Any discussion on the Representative Munns?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will be voting no on the motion of ought to pass as amended. Passing this bill will do nothing to address the problem of high electricity prices in New Hampshire. They are high because we rely almost entirely on fossil fuels, mostly natural gas, to generate the electricity we use. And because there are not a lot of oil or gas wells in New England, we must import virtually all of those fuels that we consume from other parts of the country or the world. That places us at much greater risk from geopolitical, weather-related, and market supply disruptions. The Renewable Portfolio Standard promotes renewable energy in New Hampshire by setting target percentages of total megawatts of electricity supplied by suppliers of electricity in New Hampshire from various classes of renewable energy sources. Suppliers can meet these targets by purchasing renewable energy credits or making alternative compliance payments that are then used to fund renewable energy projects. This bill lowers the value of those certificates. And by reducing the value of those renewable energy certificates, investors are less likely to invest in new projects of this type and or hold on to existing projects. The bill also eliminates Class 2 renewable energy certificates entirely. These are older solar projects, some of which are owned by towns or schools. These changes will not save the state anything because no state funds are spent on the renewable portfolio standard. The only cost of complying with this law is about $2 a month that is added to each residential customer's bill. To put that in perspective, however, starting August 1st, the typical Eversource residential customer using an average of 600 kilowatt hours per month is estimated to see an overall increase of $14 per month, or 9.9% of their total bill compared to what they are paying now. And those rates of increase are likely to continue if we rely almost exclusively on natural gas. That is what we should be trying to address. If we want to ensure that our constituents are not going to be subjected to continual increases of that magnitude, we have got to get ourselves off our addiction to fossil fuels. If we pass this bill, it will do the exact opposite. It will significantly weaken one of the last remaining programs we have to encourage the development of alternative sources of energy that will make us less dependent on the very volatile natural gas market. I will be voting no on this bill, and I encourage you to join me. Thank you.
Further discussion? Representative Popovici Mueller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will be voting in support of this because, as my colleague actually acknowledged, it does reduce costs. And also, I would like to point out that if other forms of energy were cheaper, I would be more than happy to support them, but I don't see how you save the people money by buying more expensive energy. Thank you.
Representative Berry.
Just very briefly, math, if this, based on the representative's claims, reduces electricity by $2.75 a month, and the increase is going up $14 a month, as the representative said, that's a reduction of the increase by 20%. So just want to point that out.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before us is ought to pass as amended on House Bill 219. The amendment is 2988. Clerk will call the roll on that motion of ought to pass as amended.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Murphy,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Erble,
No.
Representative Terlinsky, Representative Harkin Phillips,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative Priest,
No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly.
No.
The vote is Representative Weiler.
Yes.
The vote is 14 to 11.
Vote is 14 to 11. A motion is adopted, ought to pass as amended by Amendment 2988 on House Bill 219, regular calendar. Representative Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to recognize Representative Ebel to introduce House Bill 246.
Okay.
Take a motion on.
All right. Well, thank you very much. The first thing I'd like to address is amendment number 2986H to HB 246. HB 246 is a bill that would direct the State Conservation Committee to implement Conservation District Climate Resilience Grant Program and it obviously makes an appropriation. You may recall, I think it was the first hearing that we had on a bill in the Finance Committee. There was a very effective discussion, plea made, especially from our farmers, for the necessity for this grant program. It appropriates $50,000 a year, which is not a lot considering what they'll be able to use it for. The amendment simply clarifies that it's $100,000 over the biennium, and it changes the effective date. It just says that it'll take effect 60 days after passage, so we can get the money to the farmers as quickly as possible. So I hope you'll join me in supporting the amendment.
Is there a second on the amendment?
Second.
Representative? Okay. All right.
Roll call.
Now, we're looking for is there further discussion on the amendment? Is a show of hands sufficient? All in favor of adopting Amendment 2986, raise your hand. Hands down. Is there anyone opposed? Okay, the motion now is ought to pass as amended by Representative Abel. Is it seconded by Representative Sweeney? Okay. Further discussion on the motion of ought to pass as amended on House Bill 246. Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on that motion. Ought to pass as amended, House Bill 246, FN Amendment 2986.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Erble,
Representative Ebel votes yes.
Representative Taliski, Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
It is 25 to nothing.
The bill passes 25 to nothing. It will go on the regular calendar. Representative Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next bill we'll take up is House Bill 365. I have an amendment that I would like to,
I get the message.
there's an amendment 2025-2994H. And the amendment basically appropriates $50,000 for the biennium ending June 30, 2027, for the purpose of reimbursing local municipalities for costs of vouchers to pay the required fee to obtain potential voters' birth certificate or equivalent proof of citizenship. This amendment also makes it effective 60 days after the passage of the bill.
Second.
Who was the second? Representative Sweeney. Okay, discussion on the amendment? All right, we'll adopt the amendment by a show of hands. All in favor of adopting amendment 2994, raise your hands. Hands down. Any opposed? One opposed.
Two.
Oh, two opposed. Three. Where's it?
I see three.
Oh, all right. All right. So 22 to 3 on the amendment. All right,
Is it 22 to 2, 22 to 3?
22 to 3. We have
So,
25 of us here, right?
Yep.
Okay. So,
thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to recognize Representative Sweeney to make a motion on the OTPA.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would move ought to pass as amended on House Bill 365. House Bill 365 strengthens election integrity by ensuring indigent voters have an option to prove their U.S. citizenship while maintaining a fair and accessible process. It ensures that voters who are unable to produce their proof of citizenship due to financial means can access proof for voting purposes. Supporting ought to pass as amended demonstrates our commitment to strengthen our existing election integrity laws.
Further discussion? Is there a second from,
Second,
wait, who are we putting down as the second?
I'm the
Carol
second.
McGuire. All right. Motion by Sweeney, seconded by Carol McGuire. And recognize Representative Runs and then Representative Run and then Representative Priest.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In Division One, I voted for this bill. It sounded great. Let's help indigent voters be able to get the documents that they need to be able to meet the new voting requirements. However, I looked into this some more. I talked to some people on election law, and I realized that I was snookered because it's great to support a bill. It looks great from the outset that it's going to be a benefit, but we have no process in place. The prime sponsor didn't appear at the public hearing to introduce the bill. The Secretary of State's testimony in front of election law varied from the testimony he gave to Division One. I just think there's a lot of questions. I think there's opportunities for us to really tighten down this bill, identify a process, which this bill does not do. I'd also like to hear from town and other municipal clerks about the impact this is going to have on them, because even though it's providing a voucher, it will require more resources at the municipal level to implement. So I'm going to be voting ITL on this, and I urge this committee to support whatever new bill will come in the future that provides the unicorns and rainbows that this one does, but is actually backed up by a process and support of all of the stakeholders. Thank you.
Representative Priest.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will also be opposing HB 365 as amended because it's simply not ready for the timeline before us. There is no defined process on how the Secretary of State would remit the document cost or how municipalities, clerks would submit vouchers for reimbursement. Without that framework, this bill is little more than a window dressing for a bureaucratic mess waiting to happen. HB 365 creates a convoluted and impractical process that imposes unnecessary administrative and fiscal burdens on our towns and cities. It replaces a long-proven affidavit system, which has been simple, effective, and fiscally sound, with a system that is confusing, humiliating, and expensive. This bill forces citizens to disclose personal financial hardship just to vote, while leaving the clerks and taxpayers to absorb the costs of compliance and training. It is, in sense, an unfunded mandate wrapped in red tape. New Hampshire already has a process that works. HB 365 doesn't fix a problem. It creates one. And I urge all of you to ITL this bill. Thank you.
Further discussion, Representative Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to clarify some points here, the affidavit system is already gone in state law. We got rid of that last year before the 2024 elections. This bill simply funds the efforts to get people who don't have proof of their citizenship able to prove their citizenship. When the Secretary of State testified in front of Division One, it's a fraction of 1% of voters when they had the affidavit system were unable to prove their citizenship and need to use the affidavit. So it's not, I don't foresee a bureaucratic mess. I don't see this being a huge burden on municipal officers. I have full faith in the Secretary of State's office and their ability to implement this program and reimbursement. It's allocated $50,000 for the biennium. It would be shocking if they had to spend $50,000 on less than 1% of voters in a presidential year to give them the proof of citizenship. But this is just, again, it's giving those voters who are unable to currently prove their citizenship an ability to prove their citizenship through the state of New Hampshire, ensuring that they can still vote in our election. So It does not change the voter laws. It's completely separate from that. The voter laws are already changed. This is just going into setting up a program to help those that need it. Thank you.
Further discussion? Got your light on, Representative Priest. Did you have further discussion? Okay. Representative Popovich Mueller.
I just want to say for the record that it's kind of strange to watch the Republicans trying to help indigent people and other people saying no thanks.
Further discussion? Seeing none, clerk will call the roll on the motion of ought to pass on House Bill 365 as amended by Amendment 2994.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovich Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Abel,
No.
Representative Taliski,
No.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
No.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Munns.
No.
I'm sorry, Representative, let me go back a little bit. Representative Priest.
Yes. I'm sorry. No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Yep.
Representative Kelly,
No.
Representative Weiler,
Yes. I have 16 to 9.
who on the Democratic side voted yes?
Sure.
And Stringham.
Leishman and Stringham. Leishman and
Who will
Stringham.
write the minority report? Who'll write the
I think
minority
he's
report?
written it already. Representative
Thank you.
Priest. All right, and I think I've received that. Thank you.
Who was the other yes?
Are we ready?
Okay. And yeah, I got him, but there's one other.
All right.
And Representative Priest, is it for ITL or interim study or?
Okay, Representative Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like
Wait a
to,
minute, I should announce this. All right, we've adopted the amendment of ought to pass as amended on House Bill 365 as amended by Amendment 2994. That will go on the regular calendar. Thank you, Representative Campbell.
thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to recognize Representative Sweeney to make a motion on House Bill 572.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 572. The policy concepts from this bill were already adopted in the state budget, rendering the policy section of this legislation unnecessary. While the appropriation did not make it into the budget, the program is there and can be funded by a future legislature depending on the revenue situation at that time. Inexpedient to legislate maintains coherence with the budget language while respecting our existing state spending plan.
I'll second that.
Okay, Representative Sweeney and Representative Griffin. Representative Sweeney moves in expedient to legislate on House Bill 572. Further discussion. Representative Munns.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will be voting no on the motion of inexpedient to legislate because I believe that if we are really serious about addressing the very real and significant housing challenges Granite Staters everywhere are facing, we need to do more than simply passing language that proposes to address those challenges. We need to be willing to back up our words with the resources necessary to implement those ideas. That is what our constituents are looking for us to do. Concerns about the lack of quality, affordable housing consistently ranks as the number one issue Granite Staters say they are concerned about. To be clear, I do not believe that big government alone can solve the housing crisis. It's going to take private developers and local government working together consistently over a number of years in partnership with the state of New Hampshire to tackle our housing crisis. That is precisely what the Partners in Housing program envisioned in HB 572 is intended to do. It will reduce costs and accelerate housing production by identifying municipal and county-owned land suitable for development and expediting the planning board review process. Future housing investments under this program would be targeted to ensure that they are the most efficient possible use of state resources. That is also what the Housing Champions program established in 2023 is intended to do. As introduced, HB 572 would have appropriated $2 million to the Partners in Housing program for fiscal year that ended on June 30th, 2025, with funds lapsing on June 30th, 2027. It would have also appropriated $8 million to the Housing Champion designation and grant program for the same 2-year period. That funding would have been a significant and real down payment by the state in helping our cities and towns address our housing needs. Unfortunately, the Committee on Housing reduced that funding to only $150,000 for the fiscal year that ended on June 30th, 2025, and directed that those funds only be used to establish the list of municipally and county-owned property determined to be appropriate for possible residential development. The majority of this committee went a step further when the $150,000 appropriation was removed from the version of HB 2 this House and Senate finally approved and the governor signed into law. I hope you will join me in voting no on the motion of any expedient to legislate that is before us, so I can introduce an amendment I have prepared, 2025-2956H, that will restore this funding and provide additional real support to those communities who are committed to addressing the housing challenges in their community. If we are going to make any progress addressing our housing crisis, it is critical that the state is as active a partner as our cities and towns and the private sector. Thank you.
Further discussion? Representative Priest.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In my conversation with the developers in Manchester, they're looking for partnerships between them and municipalities and with the state government. They are in need of subsidies to make their ratio and formulas work to provide the affordable housing that we need in our cities and towns. And I would vote against the ITL and also in favor of Representative Munn's amendment, because I think this program is very needed in our state, in our communities. Thank you.
Further discussion? See a light on by Representative Munns. Okay. Representative Tulowitzki.
Thank you so much for giving me a moment to speak. I'm going to be voting against the motion. We hear time and time again that housing is the number one issue in this state. Our constituents are demanding action. And the fact that there was not significant investment in the budget to help incentivize programs like these that have been successful is just shameful. I have toured some of these programs that have been, these projects that have been built. These are workforce housing that allows workers to work where they, live where they work so that they can have a safe place to raise their family and be able to even walk to work. There is one in downtown Nashua on Main Street that I had the opportunity to visit. And these people finally have a place to call their own. There's a crisis of people who are unhoused. There's a crisis of people who want to get out of their parents' home. There's a crisis of people who find jobs but have no place to live. And as leaders here in the state, it is our responsibility to do what we can. And I will be voting against the ITL motion so we can bring up the amendment and actually do something for the residents of New Hampshire who are asking us to step in and help solve the housing crisis. Thank you.
Further discussion? Representative Rung.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Popovich Mueller attacked the Democrats in the debate on the last bill, saying we don't care about indignant voters, that only Republicans are trying to do something. Well, here, Democrats are trying to do, we're trying to give people housing. This has been a very successful program, and we can walk away and say, oh, we've done our job because, we're maintaining it, but it's only good if it's funded. And I'm going to be voting against this because it looks great from the surface, but it's putting lipstick on a pig. We have to put money into this to support our communities and address our housing crisis.
Representative Popovici Mueller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just like everybody to feel free to go to tape and check my words versus the representation of my words we just heard. I stand by the words I said, which are in no way what was just represented. Thank you.
Representative Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to clarify for everybody, this program has never been funded before in the state. This program is a spreadsheet of municipal and county-owned land that might be suitable for the development of housing. This is not the Affordable Housing Fund. This is not the automatic transfer of real estate transfer tax to affordable housing programs. So people are talking about projects that they visited that were funded by this program. That's a miracle because no projects was funded by this program. This doesn't fund program. This doesn't fund the development of housing. This is a Partners in Housing program that on the grand scale of it would identify all government-owned land in the state that we could potentially build housing in the future. Municipalities are actively looking at what land they could possibly offload to the private market to develop housing. This is an asset to that. Again, the policy of the spreadsheet to identify housing was adopted in the budget. There was no appropriation towards the Partners in Housing program. But this is not the Affordable Housing Fund. These are not funds that would actually go to the development of affordable housing. So I just wanted to make that clear on the record for everybody.
Representative Tulowitzki.
Thank you for acknowledging me. If I misspoke, I apologize. My description of the projects that I visited were an example of creative solutions to expand housing. And I know that this bill is a comprehensive look at how to build the partnership with municipalities and developers. And my point stands is we need to take a collaborative, big picture look and come at it from lots of different directions, which this bill does. Thank you.
Representative Hacken Phillips.
Mr. Chair, I know it's been a while since we've been gathered together as a committee, and I wonder if it might be appropriate for you to remind the members to maintain decorum while other members of our committee are speaking. I know that we all have deep respect for each other's work here at the State House / Granite Place, and I would just like to remind everybody that we are, citizen volunteers here trying to do the best that we can for our communities and state. And the fact that there are people snickering and really throwing insults pertaining to motive across the table right now is really unbecoming. And I'm hoping that we can return to a more dignified course of business today.
Thank you. That was not my impression that I received. Further discussion? Seeing none. The motion before us is inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 572. Clerk will call the roll on that motion.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Cambrose,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Ebel,
No.
Representative Terlisky,
No.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative Priest,
No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Representative Munns,
Nope.
Representative Kelly,
No.
Chair Weiler.
Yes. 14-11. All right, the motion being 14-11 on the motion of inexpedient to House Bill 572, that motion passes. Will there be a minority report? Who will write it?
Representative Munn.
Representative Munns, inexpedient?
No.
No, I'm, OTP?
With amendments.
OTPA?
Yeah, he's gonna, 2956H.
Okay. All right, and you,
2956H is his amendment.
oh, you do have your amendment already, very good. And you got your report? Thank you very much. All right, members, a little over an hour, we've gone through 11 bills, we have 18 remaining. 4 of them have discussions. I would like to carry on straight through if there's no big objection once we get to 12:30 or so, if we'll see what the progress is, but I think we'll be able to finish our work before we take a break. Is that any big objection? Anybody have a problem with having to go eat or anything? All right, that's the way I propose to continue. Representative Cambrils.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to recognize Representative Sweeney to make a motion on House Bill 607.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 607. Funding for the Hampton Beach Area Commission was already addressed through the state budget, eliminating the need for a separate appropriation and bill. Inexpedient to legislate aligns the committee's actions with the approved budget and ensures fiscal discipline.
I'll second the amendment.
Second by Representative Abel. Further discussion? Seeing none. Clerk will call the roll on the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 607 FM.
Members, Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Novenko.
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner.
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Tulisky.
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham.
Yes.
Representative Priest,
No.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chairman.
Yes, that's right.
and Representative Weiler.
Yes. I show 23-2.
So that's what we show. Thank you.
Okay. Inexpedient to legislate is adopted. Go on the regular calendar.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I certainly have no objection to it going on consent.
Anybody else? Okay, you can go on consent. Thank you. All right, Representative Cambrils.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to recognize Representative Griffin for a motion on House Bill 611.
I'm going to move ITL on House Bill 611. House Bill 2, Sections 216 to 222, essentially incorporate the provisions of HB 611 with some minor changes, thus making House Bill 611 redundant.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Griffin, seconded by Representative Abel, for inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 611. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on that motion.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Novenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Tulisky,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
It is 25-0.
25-0. On the motion of inexpedient to legislate, we can put that on the consent calendar. Representative Gambrels.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to recognize Representative Carol McGuire to make a motion on House Bill 619.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move inexpedient to legislate.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Representative McGuire, Carol McGuire, seconded by Representative Abel, inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 619. Is there any further discussion? Carol McGuire.
Yes, thank you. For the record, the Solid Waste Management Fund is being funded by a series of fee increases that were included in the budget, and therefore this bill is unnecessary.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 619.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
the clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Cambrels,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Turleski,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Weiler votes
Chair
yes.
Weiler.
Yes.
It is 25-0.
25-0, it's incorporated in the budget, so it can go on the consent calendar. Representative Gambrels.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to recognize Representative Sweeney for a motion on House Bill 624.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would move inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 624. This would be a new river management grant program that would duplicate efforts already managed by the Department of Environmental Services under existing programs. Adding another grant fund would increase administrative costs without delivering measurable improvements in conservation outcomes. Inexpedient to legislate preserves efficiency and avoids unnecessary bureaucratic expansion.
Second by Carol McGuire. Further discussion on House Bill 624, motion of inexpedient to legislate. Representative Munns. Rung.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to ask my colleagues to vote against the ITL so that an ought to pass motion can be made. Just by my count, we've already approved over, maybe it's close to $300,000 in, $300,000 in expenditures in this meeting. This bill would only require $40,000 per year to support the work of local river management advisory committees. This would include the cost of water testing, informative programs for residents who impact rivers. And one thing that New Hampshire Department of DES actually testified and provided written testimony in front of the Resources Committee and outlined many of the responsibilities these local committees do and all the volunteer work that they provide to promote water quality of our rivers. But I also want to remind the committee that rivers don't exist just alone. They actually are very important parts of lake health. We've seen increasing trend of toxic cyanobacteria blooms in lakes, and many of these blooms receive phosphorus from the intake of rivers. And I had a list of rivers that are, I've got too many papers here, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, there's if we look at the following lakes that are impacted by rivers, it includes not just Pawtuckaway and Winnipesaukee, Surrey Mountain Lake, Ashuelot Pond, First Connecticut Lake, Second Connecticut Lake, Lake Francis, Moore's Reserve, Robb Reserve, Muskoma Lake. I won't read them all, but there's a huge list. So when we can do what we can for a relatively modest cost of $40,000 per year to mobilize local volunteers to protect river quality, we're protecting lake quality and pond quality throughout the state, many of which serve as drinking water sources. So I think for $40,000 a year, it's a huge bang for the buck. Just earlier this year, the state spent over $300,000 on an in-lake treatment for Partridge Lake in Littleton. That's a relatively small lake, but if we can prevent and mitigate phosphorus coming into lakes from these rivers, we can go a long way to saving a lot larger sum of money in the future. So I'm going to be voting against the ITL, and I ask my colleagues to do the same. Thank you.
Further discussion? Representative Earth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As a member of one of these local river committees in Ware, I don't believe the extra funding is necessary. DES has a huge budget. They do all the work that was just described. In fact, most of the work that was just described is in fact done by DES. As stated, we are volunteers and we volunteer our time. And we're, at least in my committee, we have some great people on board that are willing to volunteer their time without any needed expenditure. Thank you. And that includes, in our case, we're redoing our 10-year river management plan this year and next year. And that's all as well taken care of. Thank you.
Representative Priest.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As in my previous life, I helped manage many of these river management programs, working with volunteers in 13 communities. And what I've noticed that not only does it have benefits in enhancing the river management, in identifying the pollutions that might become major problems when they come upon a lake, but it also increases community engagement and provides educational opportunities for our communities. And so I will be opposing this bill. Thank you.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before us is inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 624 FN. Clerk will call the roll on that motion.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
No.
The clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovich Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Ebel,
No.
Representative Terlisky,
No.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
No.
Representative Strainham,
No.
Representative Priest,
No.
Representative Run,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly,
No.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
It is 14-11.
I see 13-12.
Oh, sorry. 13-12.
13-12, the motion passes. Is there a minority report?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, minority report, Representative Munns.
No.
Rung. The names are too close. Representative Rung. I'm sorry. My
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
she's much better looking than me.
thank you. I agree. But I don't know. Your names comes before her alphabetically. I don't know. That's my excuse. Sorry about that, Representative Rung. Okay, Representative Gambrels.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to recognize Representative Carol McGuire for a motion on House Bill 640.
I move inexpedient to legislate. And I'd like to say that this bill is a very nice grandstanding motion to encourage the federal government to tell us what they're doing in our state. Unfortunately, we have no leverage. There is no way we can force them to provide this information. And we think that if they're doing something we really want to know about, they won't tell us anyway. So I would recommend we not waste our time trying to get them to do something they're not going to do.
Second.
Representative Sweeney seconds. The motion before us is inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 640. Further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call that roll on the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 640.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Waldman,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Tulisky,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham, Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
25-0.
All right, the vote is 25-0. We have adopted a motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 640. It can go on the consent calendar. Representative Gambles.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to make a motion on Senate Bill 63 of ITL. We had a unanimous vote of 9-0 in Division 1 on this, simply because the tourism agency has already been funded $7 million per year for the next biennium, for a total of $14 million. And basically what this bill would have done is to give them automatic payments from the rooms and meals tax, and taking it out of the hands of the legislature to decide what the budget should be each year. So I would ask my colleagues to join me in voting ITL on this Senate bill.
Carol McGuire seconds.
Second.
Okay, the motion is inexpedient to legislate on Senate Bill 63 FN. Is there any further discussion? You have any? Clerk will call the roll on the motion of inexpedient to legislate.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Waldman,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Tulisky,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
and Chair Weiler.
Yes.
Another 25-0.
25-0, that will also go on the consent calendar. Congratulations to Division 1. You had the most bills. Gone through them very quickly. Now recognize Representative Earth from Division 2.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So our first bill is HB 129, relative to the definition of the term evidence-based within public education. I look to Representative Popovich for a motion.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion of ITL for HB 129.
I will second it.
And if I
Further
may,
discussion.
I just want to very briefly say that it was agreed by everybody on the on finance too, and by the prime sponsor, that the bill is no longer needed.
Further discussion. I see a light on over here. Representative Seaworth, did you have any? Okay. Anything further?
I just have my name for
All right,
front of the show.
all right. Motion of any expedient to legislate on House Bill 129. Clerk will call a roll on that motion.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Cameron,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Novenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Turliski,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
Number 25.
25-0, we have adopted the motion of any expedient to legislate. We can put this on the consent calendar. Representative Earth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next bill is HB 133, modifying the new resident driver's license transfer requirement specifying when the Division of Motor Vehicles shall send violation notices and appropriating funds to the division for technological upgrades required for legal compliance. And I'll look to Representative Popovich for a motion.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion of ITL for HB 133.
I will second it. Further discussion, Representative.
Very briefly, the language required by this bill has been included, substantially included in the budget, has already been adopted, and the bill is no longer needed.
Thank you. There's no further discussion. The clerk will call the roll on the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 133.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Novenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Turliski,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
25-0.
The vote is 25-0. The motion of inexpedient to legislate is adopted on House Bill 133, and it will go on the consent calendar. Representative Earth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next bill is HB 563, relative to the cost of an opportunity for an adequate education, extraordinary need grants, fiscal capacity disparity aid, and determination of education grants. And I'd like to Representative Popovich for a motion.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion of ITL for HB 563.
Second.
And,
Further discussion.
Thank you. The bill is no longer needed because the topic it covers has already been included in the budget, sections 223 to 227. And again, this bill does not have a purpose anymore.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 563.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yep.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Novenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Turliski,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
25-0.
Vote being 25-0 on the motion of any expedient to legislate on House Bill 563, it will go on the consent calendar. Representative Ebel, Representative, yes, Representative Erf.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next bill is HB 671, establishing a kindergarten literacy readiness program. And I'll look to Representative Popovich for a motion.
I think I'd like to make a motion of ITL for HB 671.
Second.
And to speak briefly to my motion, the Finance 2 has unanimously agreed that the ITL is the right motion for this. There is no clear data gathered to the effectiveness of such programs. The revenues are below budget, and frankly, the language could use more work. Thank you.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 671 FNA.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Papavici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Waldman,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Terlisky,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Runn,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
25-0.
The vote being 25-0, the motion of inexpedient to legislate is adopted on House Bill 671 and will go on the consent calendar. Representative Erf.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next bill is HB 675, limiting the authority of school districts to make certain appropriations. And I will make a motion of OTP.
Second.
Motion by Representative Erf, seconded by Representative McGuire.
Representative, go ahead.
Dan McGuire to second, ought to pass as, on House Bill 675. Is there an amendment you wish to introduce?
Yes, sir. I would like to introduce amendment number 2025-3013H.
Okay, motion and a second to adopt Amendment 3013.
And I'll speak my motion.
And is
May I speak
to
to it?
adopt the amendment?
May I speak to the amendment?
Yes.
So this is a replace all amendment, and it requires a 2/3 majority vote of the school district legislative body to increase the annual school budget by more than the annual change in student population and inflation.
Okay. Thank you. Further discussion? Representative Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I represent two of the towns, Bradford and Warner, in the Kearsarge Regional School District, along with Newbury, New London, Sutton, Springfield, and Wilmot. On January 4th of this year, citizens in the Kearsarge Regional School District voted down a petition for a spending cap. The meeting was attended by over 1,600 people from the 7 towns in our district. The final vote that defeated the spending cap petition was 1,435 to 113. Over 92% voted no. Democracy and local control at its best. In other school districts in the state that attempted budget caps this year, most were rejected by the voters. The citizens in our state are clear in their message, no budget cap. In January, just after the Kearsarge vote, on WMUR TV, House Majority Leader Jason Osborne stated, "We might have to put a leash on some of these local governments." Put a leash on some of these local governments. The Majority Leader further stated, "We have a state with a constitution, and we have a duty to protect our citizens. These towns do not have a constitution and do not have this duty. If they are infringing on the rights of our citizens, it's our duty to step in and protect them. I find this rather strange reasoning. Again, I quote, a duty to protect our citizens? If they are infringing on the rights of our citizens, it's our duty to step in and protect them? Just who are we protecting from our citizens, or our citizens from? Of course, towns do not have individual constitutions. How does that even make sense? However, we do have a state constitution that requires the state to provide an education to every student, a requirement that has been upheld by the courts over and over again. And yet, the state has not fulfilled its constitutional requirement. Where is the protection for our students? Currently, RSA 32:5-E allows voters and school districts to adopt budget caps. This law only went into effect in October of 2024, 1 year ago. So I ask, what is the rush to force a statewide mandate on all school districts regardless of the discrepancies between them? Bottom line, this amendment takes away local control and is completely unnecessary. Thank you.
Further discussion? Representative Hacken Phillips.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And may I just say, forgive me, I was absent on the day the division voted on this bill, so I'd just like to take a minute to add my thoughts about the substantive debate before us. So I believe that the contemplated subject matter of this bill is of great importance to the state, and that, you know, we pride ourselves as Granite Staters of having this New Hampshire way, which primarily is about local control for our small communities. And I think that's really important for problem solving on the local level. And I think this debate is especially important in context of our recent New Hampshire Supreme Court school funding cases, both in Rand and Convale. So I'd just like to remind the committee that when this substantive policy matter came out of the policy committee and came to the floor of the House, it was a narrow passage on the floor with bipartisan disagreement about whether this bill should move forward. And so the matter is highly controversial amongst our own members. So with that context, I just want to say we're seeing a lot in the press right now about the challenges school districts are facing with unexpected obligations hitting their school boards right now. I know there was an unexpected school care assessment for employee health insurances that totals over $30 million over 65 school districts. And in my home district, Dresden schools are facing over $564,000 of increased costs. Hanover school system is receiving over $263,000 of increased costs, and the Lyme school district has received over $133,000 of increased costs that they were not planning for when they passed their budget in the previous cycle. So I know that there are other towns and school districts facing this exact school care assessment issue, including Portsmouth, Lincoln, Epsom, and many more. There's dozens of districts and towns receiving this assessment. So when you take that into consideration with the adequacy aid reductions that we know that were reported in the Union Leader this past Monday, affecting communities like Concord, Pittsfield, and Rochester, when they're facing these reductions into what they expected for adequacy aid, you know, these are big, unexpected, some are unexpected and some are expected expenditures and obligations that they'll have in the coming year. So when you even consider the special aid costs that, special education aid costs that may also pop up in these districts and transportation costs, there's a big cost that school districts are being forced to contemplate and kind of manage through. So when I look across the board at all these communities and ask how are they contemplating the resolution of these unexpected obligations, there's a mix of approaches in those school districts to make those ends meet. And first, they're reducing costs through spending cuts and hiring freezes, but they're also tapping their savings and reserve accounts where they can. These school districts in some cases are even proposing some revenue increases. So we know that there's a variety of ways that these districts are responding across the state. And I think it's really obvious to just say they're looking at their financial situation, they're assessing what the costs are, and they're figuring out the best way for their community to meet those unexpected obligations with as little harm as possible to their communities as they can. So that's where 675 comes in this bill. When I compare what districts across the state are doing with what 675 requires, I don't think there's a single proposal in any of our current school districts that would be allowed, permitted under this bill. So what that is saying is that HB 675 is saying, what HB 675 is saying is that no matter what your costs are, you cannot spend $1 over the rate of inflation to meet it. With some exceptions, of course, for the building facilities, et cetera. But I think the sum is that this puts our communities in an impossible situation. And, just elaborating how this applies to normal situations, you could consider this, how families handle similar situations at home. If a family's sitting around their kitchen table and they're suddenly hit with an unexpected big increase in their healthcare premium, and also their car breaks down in the same week, these families don't get to say, hey, sorry, I'm not going to pay my bills anymore because I've just capped my spending at inflation. That's not reasonable. So we know that families are going to take a reasonable and a responsible approach to figure out how they can balance their bills and their responsibilities to make ends meet. And you might cancel that vacation or that trip that you had planned to take, or you might put off a long-term investment because you know you have immediate needs for your savings account right now. So some people might even ask for more work hours to try to make more money to meet these bills. But I mean, they have flexible choices to make to meet these obligations. And the restrictions under HB 675, as you apply it to this kind of family home situation, it would just undercut what families do in reality. So I think asking us to apply that to what the state of New Hampshire's school districts can do under similar crises is just totally illogical. And I think we should not accept this mandate for our communities to tie their hands or, prevent them from having those flexible decision makings that our own families would be making at the kitchen table. So for these reasons, Mr. Chair, I invite my colleagues to join me in voting no against the OTPA motion so that another motion could be made. Thank you.
Representative Seaworth, did you have your hand up? All right, Representative Erf and then Representative McGuire.
I'd just like to clarify one thing. Nothing in this bill precludes school districts from spending as much money as they see fit. There just requires a 2/3 vote, majority vote. And we heard just now that a most recent vote in a situation similar to this got 90% approval, which is a much bigger number than 2/3, which is around 66%. I think Croydon had a similar situation a year or two ago, and same reaction, 90% of the vote. So nothing in this precludes districts from spending as much money as they want to for whatever purposes they want to. It only requires a supermajority vote to do that.
And Mr. Chair, may I just make a short follow-up to that statement? So my understanding is that in effect, so on its face, that is true. My colleague is correct. There is nothing to prevent a 2/3 vote of all of the citizenry from overriding the tax cap. But I think in effect, it is a significant challenge to have 2/3 of any voting electorate show up at a specific meeting to override that tax cap. So I think if we are speaking on its face, that is true. My colleague is correct. But the statistical likelihood and factual historical background that shows communities do not meet that threshold on a regular basis for their community meetings implies that the effect of HB 675 will put up such a challenge that communities will have a very difficult time overcoming. And I believe my colleagues facts that she presented were 90% of the voters present. So we do not actually know, I don't believe that is the extrapolation of the actual voter base of the community. So I just want us to acknowledge that these are two different and important and significant real numbers about what HB 75 is asking us to do.
You're covering the same ground you already did.
No, that was
No,
all.
no, I think there's another error being made. This is not requiring 2/3 of the people that live in the district to vote in favor. It's simply requiring 2/3, just like a ballot, any ballot measure. It requires 2/3 of the people voting on the ballot, or in the case of a town meeting, 2/3 of those people present. That's not 2/3 of the people in the town, or in the district, I should say.
So the actual semantics of the lines is of their legislative body, the majority vote of the legislative body. So that's what the good thing about attorneys are, is they're really good at arguing the semantics of the issue.
Mr. Chair, would it make sense to have the LBA speak to this, since the bill, this was drafted by OLS and the LBA?
As you wish, if he wishes to speak.
To answer your question, no, I don't wish to speak, but my interpretation of this was the legislative body or a warrant article. So I don't know if that meant school district or school board was one way to exceed the 2/3, or if it went to a warrant. I'm going to stay out of this. This is how the language came from the policy committee and how it passed the House. I don't think we tweaked this with the committee of the Division 2 amendment, but I didn't interpret this at first to be 2/3 of all the residents of a district, but I'm going to defer to those smarter than me on this.
Okay, I think we've got the attention of both McGuires. Which one of you wishes to speak first?
Alphabetical order. Yes, Mr. Chair, the issue is that it may have been 90% of the people at the school meeting, and that's who decides it, but that is, I mean, that's current practice. It's overwhelmingly not the majority of the people in the district. It's those who care to show up. So I can't imagine that this bill would change who the legislative body is. It's who cares to show up. And those are, in many cases, overwhelmingly supportive of the school budget.
Representative Dan McGuire.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So just this morning, I finished chairing a special committee looking into SAU consolidation with the eye to possibly make things more efficient in school spending. And one of the things we discovered is the Census Department puts out a very nice report every year with a lot of detail about school revenue and school spending. And one of their charts, Table 8, shows by state how much is spent in education in all kinds of categories: salaries, support, etc., benefits, and things like that. New Hampshire, in no sense, does not spend enough on education. We are the 6th spendiest state in the country. Only Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, and Vermont are higher. We are higher by $3,000 a kid than California. So we spend plenty on education, and more than some of our other New England states even. On administration only, we are the 2nd highest in spending in the country. Only Vermont is higher. We're spending roughly $2,000 a kid on administration. So, and the number one complaint of my constituents is property taxes. 75 or 80% of their spending on property taxes goes to education. It is too much. And there are states on this list that spend less than half of what we do. The 2 lowest are Utah and Idaho. And those states have just as good test scores as we do, right? So these are, there does not seem to be a serious correlation between spending and outcome. The main difference seems to be in places like those, there are 20, 25, 30 kids in a class, and in ours, it's something like 11 or 12, right? But outcomes are not improved by this extra spending. So our citizens need some help and some mechanism to get spending under control. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Representative Farrington and then Representative Murray.
In my eyes, this is the single greatest opportunity that we have at reducing property taxes. I stand with taxpayers, taxation is theft, and so I will be supporting this motion.
Thank you. Representative Murray.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to address some of the issues around the policy. When you're looking at some of the school districts and what they're facing with regards to underfunding special education, we've already had several schools that are in very serious trouble with regards to this. And overall, also considering the results from Rand and Conval, as long as we continue to underfund public education and the educational components of that, I don't think we have any right to be putting caps on local authority or the local choices that school districts can make. This cap is a one swash of the brush, and we have very different school districts which have different problems, and they need to have the freedom to approach those problems differently. I think an arbitrary cap putting on those school districts takes away one of the tools that they have to do their business. As I said, we're not giving them the support that we're supposed to be giving them for the outcomes of these lawsuits, and this is just taking off, another limb from the body of what they can do. We also are starting to recognize, given not just special education, but in other things with regards to some of the issues that are coming around with healthcare, with food deserts. Is there someone behind me? They're facing all sorts of unknowns, whether it's going to be, regarding revenue increases, whether they're going to have into savings, whether or not, how they're going to absorb the expenses that are coming their way this year. Adding or taking away a tool, adding an arbitrary cap onto this makes it infinitely more difficult to do their job. So I think that instituting this is just going to overall have a negative effect on their school district, regardless whether it's a small school district or a large school district, because they're all going to have different issues that they're facing. And the fact of the matter is they are going to be having a tough time coming this year. And I think that is just really unconscionable of us to add another burden to the school systems when they are, I believe, doing the very best they can by their children. So for this reason, we'd be opposing this bill. Thank you.
Anybody that hasn't spoken before? Representative Berry.
Thank you. I just want to address some of these claims that were made and questions that were asked. So what are we protecting them from? That was a question that was asked. We're protecting them from the property tax bill that only goes one direction, because these school boards and these legislative bodies, which, by the way, to answer the other representative question, the legislative body reference here is the people that show up and vote. That's a very common understood term. That's not rocket science. That's how it is. We are examining this very heavily in election law. The turnout in these quote-unquote local control elections is 15%. That's the average. The average turnout is 15%. That means 7.5% of voters can show up and raise the property taxes on 93% of the rest of the electorate. When I talk to people in Ware and Goffstown, they ask why their property taxes go up. I say, you need to vote in your local elections. Your school board's raising your taxes. They don't accept that as an answer. They don't accept that as an answer. Everyone at this table was elected in an 83% turnout election. Go back to your constituents and tell them, hey, it's cool your property taxes are going up because we had an election in March. You may or may not know the date. It may or may not have been advertised very well. It's nonpartisan, so there's really no turnout. Oh, and by the way, every town's on a different date. Some of them are in-person meetings, like the one that Representative Kelly referenced. By the way, 1,000 people. There's like 20,000, 30,000 people that live in that district. 1,000 people showing up is not great. That's actually kind of horrible. It's actually really horrible. So the voters want a solution from the state. They do not accept this. Well, what are the options? Like, what are you protecting them from? You're protecting them from being taxed out of their home. That's what you're protecting them from. What is the rush? They're being taxed out of their home now. Now, not in 2 years, not in 3 years, now. They can't afford the property taxes now. my home district of Ware has seen a 28% decline in its enrollment. The school board has only put forward budgets that have increased the spending. Less students, more money. It's the same formula in almost every single town and city in the state. The same exact formula. Less kids, more money, and oh, by the way, the performance results are not great. Less kids, more money, worse outcomes. It's the same thing over and over and over again. And the last point that was raised about a family. When a family has a tight budget crunch, or the way to pose this is a family has a kid leave the house. They don't have a kid leave the house, graduate, go off to wherever, and then be like, we're going to increase our spending. A family, when their budget is cut, or they have a financial restraint, or their income goes down, doesn't go, how do we hire a nanny? Because that's what the schools do. That's what the schools do. They have less kids, and they have less need for the teachers. So what do? They hire more and more and more admin, because that's how government budgets work. They know if they don't constantly raise it, that next year it's going to be less. So that's why you have Representative McGuire. That's why you have this gross amount of administrative spending, because they can't justify hiring the teachers. It would be, and this will be the end of my rant here, these property tax increases that have been pushed down on us by a very small minority would be way less offensive if they were giving teachers raises, which they are not. I don't know where the money's going, but it's not going to the teachers. It's not going to offset any sort of property tax, and it's just out of control. It is time to put it on a leash, and we're going to protect them right now, today.
Okay, have we heard enough on this?
Just one brief comment, if I may.
Brief.
I am brief. There is also an argument to be made that some of these top property tax increases, which are egregious, are a result of downshifting from this body.
Representative Ron, brief.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will be brief. I mean, we've heard a lot of diatribe, a lot of, people making their partisan pitches, but what it comes down to is I trust the 5 people on the Merrimack School Board more than I trust the 400 people in the House or the 24 people at the Senate. People that want to lower their taxes or raise their taxes or do anything, they come out and they will vote. If people don't vote, they don't get a say. And that's just the way it is, not just for local elections, but for state and federal elections too. I am not going to make excuses for people that don't vote, although they have been there. I mean, if people really want more voters to show up, let's make voting easier. Let's have no excuse absentee voting. But that's been voted down by the other side consistently.
We're getting into another area.
Okay, so
Let's stick to this.
we need to trust the people. We vote locally. They're our friends, our neighbors. They know what's best for their community.
All right, I'll ask the clerk to call a roll on accepting amendment 3013 by Representative Erf, seconded by Representative McGuire. Clerk will call a roll on adopting amendment.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Ferry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Malvanko.
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Ebel,
No.
Representative Terlisky,
No.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative Priest,
No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly,
No.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
Vote is 14-11.
Okay, the motion is adopted. And the next motion by Representative Erf is ought to pass as amended.
We just
That's the
adopted the
amendment.
amendment.
So we still got to vote OTPA?
Yeah, we have to
OTPA.
vote. That's just the amendment.
All right. Motion is ought to pass as amended on amendment 3013 for House Bill 675. Motion by Representative Earth, seconded by Representative McGuire. Clerk will call the roll.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Papavici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Ebel,
No.
Representative Tulisky,
No.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative Priest,
No.
Representative Run,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly,
No.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
14 to 11.
Okay, 14 to 11. Ought to pass as amended is adopted. It'll go on the regular calendar. Will there be a minority report? Who will write it? Representative Murray?
You already have it.
You've got it written? Thank you.
I can send it again.
She already sent it.
All right, I'll look at that. Thank you. All right, Representative Earth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next bill is HB 716, making an appropriation for the dual and concurrent enrollment program. And I'll look to Representative Popovich for a motion.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion of ITL on HB 716.
Second.
And very briefly, the appropriation for the dual and concurrent enrollment program has been already included in HB1, and therefore the bill is no longer necessary.
Okay, further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on any expedient to legislate on House Bill 716.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Papavici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Tulisky,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Run,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
25 to 0.
Okay, the vote is 25 to 0 for inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 716. It will go on the consent calendar. Representative Earth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The last bill is for Division 2, HB 773, relative to school districts for the cost of special education. And I'll look to Representative Popovich for a motion.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion of ITL for Bill HB 773.
Okay, and the second is Weiler.
you.
Representative expedient to legislate. Is there any further discussion?
If I may just very briefly point out that the bill is no longer needed because we passed HB 292 in HB2, so that pretty much is substantially similar to this. This bill is no longer needed.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 773.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Papavici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvenko.
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Tulisky,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
25-0.
The vote being 25-0, we've adopted the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 773. It will go on the consent calendar. Thank you, Division 2. We'll now move on to Division 3. Representative Mooney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon, members. Division 3 starts with House Bill 519. That's making an appropriation to the Department of Health and Human Services to fund and support the Waypoint Youth and Young Adult Shelter. At this time, I'd like to recognize Representative Nalavenko.
Thank you, Representative Moody. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion of ITL on HB 519 FN amended. The substance of this bill is included in a footnote to HB 1, AU 3170, and is therefore no longer relevant. And I would expect my colleagues to vote in favor of ITL.
And I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Motion and a second to make a motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 519. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on that motion. Inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 519.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
The clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Papavici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Navajo,
Yes.
Representative Farringham,
Yes.
Representative Walner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Evil,
Yes.
Representative Tulisky,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
25-0.
The vote being 25-0, we have adopted the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 519. It will go on the consent calendar. Representative Mooney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 547, that's relative to county reimbursements of funds. At this time, I'd like to recognize Representative Seaworth for a motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would move ITL, and I can speak to that.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, you're recognized to speak, and the motion is inexpedient to legislate.
So the reimbursement of funds to the county, I'll explain briefly. This has to do with when Medicaid provides funding to the county nursing homes for something that is the responsibility of the nursing home. In that case, the counties are responsible for covering the state general fund share of that cost. The issue here is that starting in 2020, there was a surge of federal funding, and it took the state a while to kind of get everything in balance. And as a result, the counties overpaid money to the state that was also covered by the federal government. This bill came to us proposing to reimburse that money to the counties. It is no longer necessary. It was put into HB2. If you want to look it up, it's Section 287. The one difference is the original bill proposed to repay the amount over 2 years. What's actually in law now repays it over 4 years, but at the end of that period, the books are balanced. So, thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before us is inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 547. Clerk will call the roll on that motion.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney,
Yes.
clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Papavici Mueller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Alvanko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Walner,
Yes.
Representative Leachman,
Yes.
Representative Murray,
Yes.
Representative Ebel,
Yes.
Representative Turlisky,
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
Yes.
Representative Stringham,
Yes.
Representative Priest,
Yes.
Representative Rung,
Yes.
Representative Munns,
Yes.
Representative Kelly,
Yes.
Chair Weiler,
Yes.
25-0.
Vote being 25-0, we have adopted the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 547 and will go on the consent calendar. Representative Mooney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next up for Division 3, House Bill 570. That's repealing the Prescription Drug Affordability Board. I'd like to recognize Representative Farrington for a motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill is unnecessary as the Prescription Drug Affordability Board was already repealed through HB2. And so now I will move inexpedient to legislate.
Second that motion.
Okay, motion by Representative Farrington, seconded by Representative Mooney to make House Bill 570 inexpedient to legislate. Further discussion. Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Division of Medicaid Services is hamstrung to limit the pharmacy spending. They're forced to cover approved drugs. The price is set by the manufacturers. And in committee, we heard there are over 40 current drugs, either available or near available, with a price tag of over $1 million for a single recipient. And the testimony was that some were receiving them and have received them for very, very specialized circumstances on very, very valuable drugs, but extremely expensive. As taxpayers, we were responsible for up to 50% of that under the Medicaid program. And basically, a program that we could potentially institute if it delayed or prevented the use of even one of these drugs one time would save us enough money to have paid for the Prescription Drug Affordability Board. There's also huge opportunities for drug savings and distribution. There's a lot of discussions about PBMs. And the savings extend beyond the Medicaid program. It's not only Medicaid that's responsible for drug costs, but our employers pay for them, our towns do that employ people, and our schools do that employ teachers. The medication and high-cost drugs, the highest growing segment of the Medicaid medical bill, is threatening the viability of the program in its entirety. Very skilled legislators with medical, pharmacy, and reimbursement background expressed strong interest in seeing this work continue. I think it was a major mistake to abandon this board just while it was in its nascent stage. I think the early suggestions were reasonable, but much more impressive was the analysis, which just revealed where real potential cost-saving opportunities and life-enhancing opportunities were potentially available. We need to be smart in using our precious tax dollars, and this type of board addressing drug and drug affordability is valuable, and it needs to be revisited in the future. I will vote against the motion just as a signal that the work that the PDAB was doing needs to continue, even if the board itself has already been disbanded and some of the fundamental structures of it, including how it was funded, need to be changed. Thank you.
Further discussion. Representative Alavenko.
Yeah, I would just make the point that when you say it in its nascent stage, as far as I remember from the testimony, that board had existed for close to 3 years, had been funded, had done very little in terms of meeting, and actually had been pressed to even have a forward-looking business plan. So I think it was while well-intended, totally ineffective, and is one of the reasons why it ultimately got repealed. Thank you.
Further discussion. Representative McGuire, Dan McGuire.
Thank you. I have just sort of a related question. Maybe it's, I don't know. I was told recently that something like total medical spending in New Hampshire is like $13 billion a year. Maybe it's drug spending. Maybe it's, I don't know. but that Ozempic and like similar drugs is $1 billion a year in New Hampshire. And I'm wondering if that's correct, because you're going to see that if so, this is like a new billion over very recently. So your premiums have got to be going up tremendously just from that. Is that correct, Representative Stringham? Do you know?
I don't know your exact numbers, but periodically, miracle drugs like the GLP-1s, like Ozempic, or the hepatitis C vaccine, which cost $80,000 a dose, back about 6 years ago, petrified health insurers and those dealing with these programs. I happen to run medical director advisory panels from period of time, and we'll talk about how to pay for, or whether they're going to cover a new $4,000 medical procedure, and they always pivot back to high cost drugs and said, we got to cut what we can because we can't do anything about these other things. So I don't know if the numbers are as high as you say, but I do know that GLP-1 is what is being talked about nonstop right now.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll on the motion of inexpedient to legislate on House Bill 570.
Representative McGuire.
Yes.
Representative Earth.
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean.
Yes.
Representative Camrose.
Yes.
Representative Papavici Mueller.
Yes.
Representative Sweeney.
Yes.
Representative Berry.
Yes.
Representative Seaworth.
Yes.
Representative McGuire.
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko.
Yes.
Representative Farrington.
Yes.
Representative Wallman.
Yes.
Yes. She said no.
She said yes.
What did she?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I missed it. Representative Leachman.
Yes.
Representative Murray.
Yes.
Representative Ebel.
Yes.
Representative Terlisky.
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips.
Yes.
Representative Stringham.
No.
Representative Priest.
No.
Representative Rung.
Yes.
Representative Munns.
Yes.
Representative Kelly.
Yes.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
Yeah, the vote is
23 to
23 to 2.
Yep. All right, the vote being 23 to 2, the motion of inexpedient to legislate is adopted. Does anybody wish to not have this on consent? Without objection, we'll put it on the consent. All right, moving on, Representative Mooney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next is House Bill 661. That's relative to the Department of Health and Human Services Management of Social Security Payments, Supplemental Security Income Payments, and Veterans Benefits for Children in Foster Care. At this time, I'd like to recognize Representative Seaworth for a motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would move that we interim study this bill, and I can speak to that motion.
I'll second the motion.
All right, seconded by Representative Mooney. Please speak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will try to be brief, but explain this bill with hopefully not oversimplifying the issue too much. This is a bill that came to us as a second committee. It was bipartisan sponsorship. It passed the study committee or the policy committee unanimously. It passed the House on consent. We also should recognize this is a subject matter that's been worked on before. In the prior year, this was put forward as a bill. In that case, it was amended to fund a study on the issue to provide us more data. We have that study, and it is part of what informed the development of the bill that we have before us this year. It came to us as a second committee because it costs money, and the amount is something roughly, and it depends on the details, but around $3 million a year. I should stop myself, and if you look at the fiscal note for this, that is the ongoing expense, the way the introduced language of this bill is created. The amount in the first biennium is much smaller. It's only 2 million in the second year, so less than 2 million rather for the whole biennium. And during the discussion in our Division 3 work session, I believe there are some proposals to push that backwards so that nothing actually hits the books until the new biennium. But I haven't seen any amendment language. So it was not in the original House budget. When we got this bill before Division 3, it was enough money that, given our challenge to balance the Health and Human Services budget, it did not seem prudent to get it into the budget. So here we have it now. There are two reasons why the majority of Division 3 asked for an interim study. One is that as we look forward at the budget going into year 2, we still have the same issues that we had back in March. The second issue is it is a complex bill. And let me explain a little bit about what it does. So what this addresses is how money from the federal government for youth gets used in the state budget. So specifically, if you look at the title, there are 3 pots of money that this bill addresses. One is, in layman's terms, Social Security that's provided to a youth because their parents have passed away. The second is Veterans Administration funds that come from a deceased parent. The third is Social Security money that is due the child because of a eligible disability. By federal law, any youth that are receiving this money, if they are minors, which I guess that's redundant, but minors need an adult to receive this money for them and make sure it's used for the benefit of the child. This bill addresses the case where the state has custody of a child, and in many or perhaps even most cases, what the state does in that condition is directs that funding to the state. The state is the custodian of the funds as well as the youth, and the state, in many or most cases, applies that money to the cost that the state uses to care for the child. This is legal. It is actually common across the United States, but it's an issue that's kind of changing. As of when this bill was submitted, I think the count was there are 7 states that have changed things, plus the District of Columbia. There may be some more that have added to that since then, and there are certainly other states that are in the process that we're considering making a change. And that change, it's a multi-page bill, but again, trying to be simple, is rather preventing the state from spending that money and making sure that it stays with the child. Now, if you look at the bill, it is complicated. It really depends. I kind of imagine a matrix where the different children and family situations are crossed with the different sources of funds, and each of those boxes might have a slightly different take on it of what the legal requirements are. One of the issues that we ran into is, yes, the bulk of the cost of the bill, I'd say 2/3 or so, is the fact that if we give this money back to a family, the general fund has to make that up. And that's one cost that's just part of the policy. One thing that concerned us is maybe another third of the money is administrative costs to the state. For example, I'll try to come up with a simple example. In the case where DCYF has taken custody of a child and there is, let's say, a relative who is receiving one of these funds, then the state, many or most times, will take control of that funding. One element of this bill is saying don't do that. Leave it with the family. That, I would think, shouldn't cost the state money. You're just not taking money. In other cases, if you look in here, there are requirements that the state help the families research and manage the sources of the money. Or there are other provisions that the state would create interest-bearing accounts that would hold the money for the youth until they attain the age of majority. In those cases, both in the report and from the Department of Health and Human Services, it is assumed that there's going to be changes to the IT system, which right now can't handle some of these issues. There's going to need to be extra staff to do that work. So that's why there's administrative costs. As I say, the majority of the committee were concerned about pushing a bill forward and deferring the cost. We're also concerned about this complexity, that there are a lot of different situations. If I go back to that report, for example, those 8 jurisdictions that now do this, they don't do all the things that are in the bill. Some of them pick and choose from that list. The report itself has other ways to partially fund this. And I think that's a complex enough issue that it will be resolved in an interim study and then can be offered in a new bill in a new biennium when we have access to the budget to actually pay for it. So thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Representative Wallner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So that was a lot of information. I sort of don't know where to start, but I will tell you that House Bill 661 is a response to the report. And this is a report that the legislature, all of you voted for it, was paid for with funds through the Health and Human Service Department. They hired a consultant, a national consultant, who came in, and what they basically did was provided for the state of New Hampshire a road map of how the state of New Hampshire could move forward with and provide guidance to the state on the longstanding practice of the state collecting the Social Security benefit from foster children. This is not all foster children. This is only a very small number of foster children. I think the last time we had a meeting with Health and Human Services, it was in the neighborhood of 265, 270 children. Who are these children? These are children who have very serious disabilities. They are children who have themselves become eligible for Social Security disability. Or they are children who have lost a parent or both parents and receive a death benefit through Social Security. We have not heard a lot about it, but there are a small number of children who receive some veterans benefit, probably from a parent who's deceased and was a veteran. So these are some of New Hampshire's neediest children. The state could make a different decision. They could look for a payee, and the Social Security Administration actually encourages the state to look for a payee other than the state. The state the Social Security Administration has a list of who appropriate payees would be, and the state is actually fairly low on the list. Finding one of the things that the bill would do, we have the state find an appropriate payee to receive these benefits for the children. The report recommended that the state hold these payments, these Social Security payments, in interest earning accounts that could then be available to the children as they aged out or left foster care. These children face tremendous obstacles when they leave foster care. Remember, they're children who were disabled already. Their parent is disabled and probably is not going to be able to assist them, or they've lost their parent. So when they come out of foster care, they are really children who have very, very few resources, if any resources. And we heard in testimony what a difficult time these children have in providing themselves with housing, with education, with transportation. This bill would allow those funds, those Social Security payments that were the child's Social Security payment, to be set aside in interest-bearing accounts, and when the child aged out of foster care and needed them so desperately, they would go into, their child would have access to them. Children age out of foster care at 18, and some children older if they do have a disability. So many of these children, it might be older. This could be life-changing for these kids. They might, without these funds, a lot of these kids are really going to struggle, and a lot of them will. We heard that a lot of these kids end up homeless. So I hope that we can move forward. If we do move forward, I would bring an amendment that would put this into the next budget cycle and make some technical changes that would make it administratively easier for the department. So I urge you to vote no, and when you vote no, then I will bring forward an amendment to move the bill forward.
Further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before us is inexpedient to or interim study on House Bill 661 FN. Clerk will call the roll on that motion.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Cambrose,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nalvago,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Ebel,
No.
Representative Taliski,
No.
Representative Hagen Phillips,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative Priest,
No.
Representative Munns,
Wrong, no,
Representative Runn,
no.
Representative Kelly, Chair Weiler.
Wait a minute, did you skip somebody?
No, I went back, I reversed too.
So Munns votes
No.
and Rung votes.
No.
You got that? And then Kelly is the one we're waiting for next.
No.
Okay.
Way ahead of you.
And I got you as a yes.
And then Weiler votes yes. 24 to 11. 14 to 11.
Inflation.
Sorry about that. 14 to 11, motion of interim study for House Bill 661 is adopted. So those of you that wish to continue that can get involved in the interim study. And that will go on the regular calendar. Representative Mooney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 704 is next. relative to caregiver respite and senior volunteer programs and making an appropriation therefore. I know Division 3 has an amendment. We'll be addressing amendment number 2963H. And at this time, I'd like to recognize Representative Tulersky for motion.
I'd like to make a motion of ought to pass with the amendment that I will bring forward.
Okay, Representative Tulersky moves the amendment be adopted. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Representative Mooney. Describe, please.
Thank you. The amendment is number 2963H. This is a replace all amendment. I will just, if I may, address briefly what the original bill did and what this amendment does. The original bill made an appropriation for the purpose of funding a number of different programs, including the Alzheimer's disease and related disorder caregiver respite program, the foster grandparent program, the retired senior volunteer program, and the senior companions program. The recent budget that was just signed into law funded the Alzheimer caregiver respite program as well as the senior companion program and suspended for the biennium the foster grandparent program. So this amendment removes those items that were already addressed in the budget, takes them out, and does a small appropriation to fund the last remaining program, the retired senior volunteer program, with funds not otherwise appropriated. This program connects adults aged 55 and older with volunteer opportunities in their communities, providing support for various community needs, from assisting seniors and veterans to mentoring children, tutoring, and helping with disaster relief. And I hope you can support the adoption of the amendment.
Further discussion? Can we adopt the amendment by a show of hands? All in favor, raise your hand. Hands down. Any opposed? Okay, the motion is adopted. Next motion. Representative Tulersky.
I'd like to make a motion of ought to pass as amended with the amendment we just adopted.
Second.
The second was Representative Mooney. Further discussion on ought to pass as amended on House Bill 704. Seeing none, clerk will call the roll on the motion of ought to pass as amended on House Bill 704 with Amendment 2963.
Representative McGuire.
Yes.
Representative Earth.
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean.
Yes.
Representative Campbell.
Yes.
Representative Papavici Miller.
Yes.
Representative Sweeney.
Yes.
Representative Berry.
Yes.
Representative Seaworth.
Yes.
Representative McGuire.
Yes.
Representative Nalvanko.
Yes.
Representative Farrington.
Yes.
Representative Wallman.
Yes.
Representative Leachman.
Yes.
Representative Murray.
Yes.
Representative Ebel.
Yes.
Representative Turleski.
Yes.
Representative Harkin Phillips.
Yes.
Representative Stringham.
Yes.
Representative Priest.
Yes.
Representative Ronnie.
Yes.
Representative Munns.
Yes.
Representative Kelly.
Yes.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
24-0.
Should be 25 to 0.
25-0. So.
Okay. Vote is 25-0 for ought to pass as amended. We'll put it on the regular calendar because I think it does spend a little money, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, Representative Mooney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The last bill, not only of Division 3, but of the day, is House Bill 751. This is requiring licensure of outpatient substance use disorder treatment facilities and relative to complaint investigation of treatment facilities by the Department of Health and Human Services Office of the Ombudsman and making an appropriation therefore. I myself, Mr. Chairman, am going to make the motion starting with amendment number 2964H. And I'd like to speak to the amendment number 2964H.
Okay, is there a second on the motion to adopt the amendment? Who was the second? Representative Seaworth. Okay. Go ahead and describe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Amendment number 2964H to House Bill 751 replaces the entire bill with a study committee on the licensure of an indeterminable number of outpatient facilities. The amendment consists of 4 House members from specific committees and 2 senators. The charge, as is outlined in line number 19 of the amendment, begins with studying the licensure of outpatient substance use disorder treatment facilities by the Department of Health and Human Services, and proceeds to give about 3 more sentences of what it is to cover after that. The cost is 0. Now, it's important to know the background on this, what I have found to be yet another very complex and difficult bill. Most of them, as you can tell, are that come to Division 3. But House Bill 751 came to the House Finance as a licensure model for an unknown number of outpatient facilities, requesting 1 new employee for 1 year at the price tag of $211,000. Questions on the feasibility of the model to do this with 1 employee remain. And the majority of Division 3 believes that before spending any money, the model must be further studied. Now, the original bill, as introduced, was for certification and included rulemaking on training and education for full-time employees, an IT upgrade at the price of $500,000. And the bill as introduced had a revenue stream from certification fees. Now, the majority on Division 3 appreciates greatly the attempt to save money in the latest version of House Bill 751. But again, questions remain on practicality of the task with the money requested, combined with the loss of a revenue stream. And let's remember, at this time, we have a strained DHHS from the last budget cycle. The following are difficult to hear, but it's important to remember the position that DHHS is in as a result of the budget we passed. It includes a $51 million back of the budget cut over 2 years. That is just carte blanche, giving DHHS a pencil and an eraser and saying, find it. In addition to that, 400 unfunded vacancies are currently at DHHS. We, the majority on the committee, simply cannot fund a bill that tries really hard to work. And therefore, we request passage of the amendment, number 2964, to study this matter further, and then the following motion of ought to pass with amendment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Further discussion? Representative Chwalirski.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, I first want to start off by saying that this bill, while it started as a very more robust piece of legislation, has been dialed back and can be even more simplified. I have an amendment that if this amendment gets voted down, I would like to introduce. We discussed it in division, and it actually simplifies this whole bill into a simple 2-part piece of legislation that DHHS says fits their needs to fulfill what this bill intends to do. So I just want to talk a little bit about how we got here. This is a bipartisan bill that the concept came in last biennium in response to an investigative podcast that uncovered a story of extreme abuse and harassment and sexual assault at independent substance use disorder treatment centers here in the state. And it was clear that there needs to be oversight. These clinics are operating independently under the cover of darkness without any protection for the clients that are going there for treatment or their families that will, in most cases, pay anything to get them well. it's clear that they needed some kind of oversight to at least know that they exist. If we know that they exist, we can try to have some kind of protection and give the clients some kind of information that they know what they're getting themselves into. Now, last biennium, Senate Bill 495 was the first attempt to address this issue, a bipartisan bill. It went to HHS, and guess what? They already studied it. It was interim studied. They took the time to study this topic already, which is why this amendment before us that I'm arguing against is not needed. What they did was they interim studied the bill. They got a subcommittee report issued, and Health and Human Services and Elderly Affairs recommended this policy for future legislation with a bipartisan vote. That's how we get the bill before us today, House Bill 751. Now, House Bill 751 came through the first committee last winter, came through with a bipartisan vote, came to us here in Finance Division 3. Now, my colleague is correct. It was more complex, but it got dialed back in HHS. We had our conversations in division. We talked to the advocates, we talked to DHHS, and we figured out ways to dial it back even further. And because this issue has already been studied, we don't need to study it again. It's a waste of time. What we have is an amendment that will simply bring these treatment centers into the licensing department of DHHS that already exists. They said that their regulators will be able to better monitor these organizations that are operating in the state to ensure high quality, evidence-based services. My amendment, if I am allowed to bring it in, will simply set that policy into statute, allowing DHHS to do that, licensing these facilities. One position is included. However, it is only going to be partially impacted in terms of cost since there will be revenue coming in from the licensing. So that will be partially offset. Passing 751 with the Tulerski amendment will actually be a small positive step forward in fighting the substance use disorder crisis our state has been experiencing for years. And I please urge you to stop kicking the can and doing more studies and vote no on the Daniels amendment that's before us so we can introduce a second one. Thank you.
Further discussion. Representative Carol McGuire.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I am not super familiar with this bill, but having been on eDNA for quite a period of time, I would say that if HHS has studied it, the policy is probably reasonable. However, the implementation of it in terms of the licensing of the facilities and the rulemaking in order to make that happen has not been studied because HHS doesn't do that sort of thing. This committee suggested has HHS and also members of executive departments administration who are familiar with licensing and rulemaking, which are important in order to make this happen. I would agree with you that fine, HHS has studied it, they agree on the policy, but they don't, the implementation is the issue, and I would not be solidly behind HHS having studied that thoroughly. And I would say that the eDNA committee needs to be involved in setting up a new license, particularly since in this case, we don't have an organized base that would be licensed that is pressuring for it. Normally, when we go for a new license, we have the professional organization saying we need to be licensed, and there are so many people in this group, and we know who they are. In this situation, we don't know who all the players are, and that's one of the things that needs to be evaluated. Thank you.
Representative Dan McGuire and then Representative Tulerski.
No, I was.
Okay, Representative Tulerski.
Thank you very much. I appreciate Representative McGuire for sharing that. I would like to share that the representative from Behavioral Health, DHHS, did testify about how this would slide right into their existing licensing program. This is something that DHS wants to do. And the reason why we don't know how many people this falls under is exactly the point of why we need this. These are clinics and organizations that have very vulnerable people coming in for treatment, and there is absolutely no idea of where they are, how they're functioning, the treatment they're providing, and they're putting people who are already vulnerable at risk. So I just wanted to share that the DHHS behavioral licensing people did say it would be an easy slot right in.
Further discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to ask the clerk to call a roll to adopt Amendment 2964H, which replaces in its entirety Amendment 7, House Bill 751. Clerk will call the roll on adopting the amendment.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Ebo,
No.
Representative Truliski.
No.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative Priest,
No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly,
No.
Chair Weiler.
Yes. The amendment is adopted, 14-11. I'll entertain a motion of ought to pass as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would make that motion of ought to pass as amended on House Bill 751.
And Representative Seaworth seconds. Further discussion? I think we've had plenty. There's no further discussion. The clerk will call the roll on the motion of ought to pass as amended on House Bill 751 with Amendment 2964 replacing it in its entirety.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Earth,
Yes.
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Bean,
Yes.
Representative Campbell,
Yes.
Representative Popovici Miller,
Yes.
Representative Sweeney,
Yes.
Representative Berry,
Yes.
Representative Seaworth,
Yes.
Representative McGuire,
Yes.
Representative Nelvenko,
Yes.
Representative Farrington,
Yes.
Representative Wallner,
No.
Representative Leachman,
No.
Representative Murray,
No.
Representative Ebo,
No.
Representative Truliski,
No.
Representative Harkin Phillips,
No.
Representative Stringham,
No.
Representative Priest,
No.
Representative Rung,
No.
Representative Munns,
No.
Representative Kelly,
No.
Chair
Chairman Weiler
Weiler.
votes yes.
Chair Weiler.
Yes.
Yes.
14-11. The have to pass as amended is adopted and will go on the regular calendar. And
Yeah. What's your amendment number?
It is, thank you for asking, 2957H.
Thank you.
okay. So I've had some computer repairs done lately and I may not have gotten all of the reports that you've sent me. Before everybody leaves, I'd like to meet with the division chairs to let me know how many of their reports they have received. And if they have them written, and if some of you have not gotten an acknowledgement from me on your report, if you have it ready, please bring it to me after we adjourn and I'll get a look at it. And if you've just recently been given a minority report, get it to me as soon as you can. I hope my email is working better. If not, send it to Janet, and Janet will make sure I get it at some point. So is there anything else to come before us, Representative McGuire?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to share something that we learned at the chairs meeting on Tuesday. There is a record number of LSRs, 1,400. And they are shorthanded. Somebody is out on a long-term illness and some other problems. And they are working 7 days a week and evenings and overtime. And so their request was, and the current progress to date is less than half of that 1,400 LSRs have been completed. Close to half, but not quite half. And on top of that, they also do these amendments, right, that we have. So that adds to the number, right? So their request is, if you have an LSR which has not yet been drafted, seriously consider withdrawing it if you think it has little chance, if you think there's other similar ones out there, whatever, right? I mean, obviously, we're here to pass things that are important, but consider them a little bit if you can. LSRs can be withdrawn up until January 7th, which is the first day we meet in the House, in the State House, with the consent of the sponsor and any co-sponsors and all the co-sponsors. But it would be most helpful if they're withdrawn before they're drafted rather than after, right? So please give that serious consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else for anybody? I appreciate your attendance. I appreciate your helping us get through this schedule fairly quickly. And as I say, if you've got some reports that I haven't acknowledged yet, please bring them to me now or within the near future. And I'll stay here for those. Anything else? We are adjourned.